Hey, it's Coach Reese. I'm here to help you with review 5.1. We're not going to do a ton of problems. You have the old videos to go back on, but we're going to do some of them to get you started, okay? First problem, they're going to ask you to solve the equation log base 8, log base 8, log base 8. They all have the same log, so it's just going to drop out of the equation, but we are going to ask you to use your condensing properties. So we would say x plus 7, this minus sign, we're going to treat that as divide, equals 34. So we will multiply times 4, cancel, x plus 7 equals, when I multiply these together, I get 136. All right, and we'll subtract 7, and we're going to add x equals 129. Okay, it's not a bad way to start. Next problem, it says log base 2, but this does not have log base 2. So when that happens, it doesn't drop out, but we will ask you to condense this portion, okay? So we would say log base 2 x plus 6, in this case that minus means to divide, by 7 equals 2. So we're going to condense, and then we're going to ask you to convert this to exponential form. My base will stay my base, but instead of being paired with the fraction, the 2 will be paired with this 2, and that will equal x plus 6 over 7. 2 to the second power is 4. Now it looks very similar to the problem we just did. We will multiply times 7, I will get 28 equals x plus 6. We will move the 6 to the other side, minus 6, and we would say that 22 equals x. Okay, I'll just keep going. Here, we're going to try to solve for r. We need to move things to the other side of the equation. We would ask you to go plus 9. I'm going to have 3ln minus 8r equals a negative 6. Next step, I would ask you to divide by 3. That will be ln of negative 8r equals negative 2. All right, so now we're at this point to where we would like to get rid of the natural log. To get rid of the natural log, we're going to ask you to use e. This will cancel. That will be negative 8r equals e to the negative 2. So we're going to put this in our calculator, and then we're going to divide by 8 to solve for r. So in our calculator, we're going to say e to the negative 2. We're going to get enter. We get this numeric value, and then we're going to divide by negative 8. And we're going to say enter. And they're going to ask you to round to the nearest 10,000th, which is 4 places. We're going to go over here and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th place is a 1. So we would not round up, we would leave it. And my answer should be negative 0.0169. Negative 0.0169. A lot of times they may ask you to put the 0 in front. I will take the answer either way. Okay, we'll have both of them available for you. All right, next page, moving forward. ln, not an ln. Just like we did on the second problem we just worked, we're going to ask you to condense. All right, so we're going to say this is going to give us natural log of x plus 10 divided by 3 equals 5. Okay? We want the natural log to go away, so cancel it out. We're going to use the e. This will cancel. It's going to leave us with x plus 10 over 3 equals e to the 5th. So I'm going to transfer this to the calculator page. All right, so x plus 10 over, let's see, make sure I did this right, okay, 3 equals e to the 5th, okay? So the first thing we want to do is we want to find out what e to the 5th is, and then we're going to multiply times 3 and then subtract 10. So we have e to the 5th, enter. To move the 3 from the bottom, we're going to multiply both sides times 3. And then we're going to subtract 10. So we're going to say minus 10. Enter. And now we would round that, and we're going to get 435.2390. 435, 435.239, but they said 4 decimal places, so we're going to put a 0 at the end. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Solving this equation, when it's an exponential equation, we're going to ask you to get the exponent portion by itself, to isolate that. So step 1 is we're going to move the 9. We're going to say minus 9 minus 9. That's going to give us a negative 82. So bring this down, we have a negative 2 times 10 to the 9n plus 8. We're going to ask you to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. That's going to leave us with 10 to the 9n plus 8 equals a positive 41. Now my exponent portion is by itself. Once we get here, we're going to ask you to convert this to a log. My base will stay my base. So this will be log base 10. You know that's optional. You don't have to write the 10, but we can do it. Log base 10 of 41 equals 9n plus 8. And let me transfer this to my calculator page. Log base 10 of 41. Log base 10 of 41 equals 9n plus 8. So we're going to put this in the calculator and get a numeric value, and then we're going to move the 8 by subtracting and then divide by 9. Okay? So, control log base 10, again you don't have to put it because it's understood, of 41, enter. There's my new numeric value. We're going to subtract 8, minus 8, enter, and then we're going to divide by 9. Divided by 9, enter. And that gives me negative 0.70969. They're going to ask us to round to the nearest hundredth. That's a 9, so we're going to round up. That would be negative 0.7097. Negative 0.7097 because we had to round up. Okay? So far so good. Let's keep going. All right, in this case, it's not just an exponent, but it has an e value. When we see an e like that, it makes me think we're going to have to use a natural log. Okay? All right, so we want to move the 4. We still want to get the exponent portion by itself. So we're going to have to move some things. We're going to say minus 4 minus 4. I get 4e, there we go, raised to the r minus 3. A little slow, let it catch up. Okay, a little power surge. We're all right. Okay, equals, maybe, let's see if we can do it. Try it. Equals 71. Okay, a little blip, but we're okay. All right, so we're going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. I get e raised to the r minus 3 equals 71 over 4. Come on, catch up. There we go. All right, so we're going to put this in our calculator, okay? We're going to go, but before we put this in our calculator, we need to do this. We're going to take the natural log. My fault. We're going to take the natural log. We're going to take the natural log. This will cancel. I'm looking at r minus 3 equals the natural log of 71 over 4. Once we put this in the calculator, we will just add 3 to our answer. Okay? Let's go to there. Go to the calculator. R minus 3 equals the natural log of 71 divided by 4. All right, so control, we get the natural log of 71 divided by 4. We're going to say enter. We did it twice. And then we're going to add 3 plus 3. Enter. All right, there's my answer. We're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my fifth number is a 9. So we would have 5.8764. 5.8764. Because we rounded up because it was a 9. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Maybe. All right, so now we're going to get into the word problems. When you take your test, we will give you all of the equations. You need to make sure which goes with which, okay? All right, so when I see the plus minus, I'm thinking growth and decay, okay? When I see the little n, that tells me that we're going to go compound, but it's going to give us a period of time, whether it's quarterly, monthly, semi-annually, daily, weekly. It's going to be compounded in some kind of period of time. When I see compounded continuously, I think of this formula. Compounded continuously. This is my formula. I look for that phrase in my problem. And anything that says half-life, well, this is the only equation that has 1/2. So this means we're going to use half-life. Okay? All right, so lucky for you, we're going to let you use your notes on this. All right, so you should be okay. You don't have that paired up, there's something wrong. Okay. Jackson bought a used Jeep. Right, for $20,000, the Jeep depreciates at a rate of 8.5% per year. How long until Jackson's Jeep is worth $8,500? All right, so we didn't see the word compound anywhere. We didn't see the word half-life or the phrase half-life. So it means it's going to be growth and decay. And depreciate means we're going to use a minus. So starting amount is $20,000. Move this a little bit. $20,000. We're going to say 1 minus, we're going to convert 8.5 to a decimal. That's 0.085. It says how long, which means we don't know time. And we want it to be equal to $8,500. Step 1 is we need to isolate the exponent part because there's your unknown, your variable. So we will ask you to divide by 20,000. Divide by 20,000. So we're going to say 8,500 divided by 20,000. Let me erase this because we're not going to use this anymore. All right, so we have 8,500 divided by 20,000. Enter. We're going to get 17 over 40. 17 over 40. So back here this says 17 over 40 equals 1 minus 0.085 raised to the t. Okay? Now we have an exponent. We're going to solve for a variable that's an exponent. We're going to ask you to convert to log. This is my base, that's my exponent. So when you convert, your base will stay your base. Log base 1 minus 0.085, you can do the math if you need to, of 17 over 40, and that will be your time. That will be how long. So we're going to put that in our calculator. Log base 1 minus 0.085. Control log, okay? Log of 1 minus 0.085. And then we're going to cursor over into the box. And we're going to say 17 divided by 40. And we're going to get enter, and there's our time. And it's going to take 9.6 something years, okay? If it's, here's the thing, if you cut it off at 9, it would never depreciate all the way down to 8,500, okay? But in this case, you're seeing a 6, so you want to go ahead and round up. No matter what on time, when this depreciation happens, you want to round up. So in this case, it will take 10 years for the Jeep to depreciate to 8,500, okay? So we're going to say 10 years. Okay? Next problem. Aiden, a future soccer star, signed an autographed picture for his favorite teacher, Mrs. Vaca. The picture, which is worth $10 now, is expected to increase its value by 20% each year. If the picture is worth $12,000 after 10 years, what is the actual rate of appreciation? All right, so we're looking. Does anybody see half-life? I don't see half-life. Does anybody see the word compound? There's nothing compounded or compounded continuously. So this is growth, and we're looking for the rate, okay? So first initial is $10, okay? And we're going to say 1 plus, but we do not know what the rate is. We do know that how long? It's going to be 10 years. And then after 10 years, it will be worth $1,200. Okay? Now we want to isolate this portion because that's where the variable is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask you to divide by 10. And when you cancel, this is going to be 120 equals parentheses 1 plus r raised to the 10. Now, we need the exponent to go away. The way we ask you to do this is to raise the power to the reciprocal. So you're going to raise the power to 1 over 10. Raise the power to 1 over 10. This allows us to cancel the exponent, okay? We're going to put this into the calculator, and we'll just write it over here. It says 120 raised to the 1/10 equals 1 plus r. So once you put this into your calculator, all we need to do now would be to subtract 1, okay? All right, so on the calculator, 120 raised to 1 divided by 10 We're going to hit enter. This is my decimal. We're going to subtract 1. Minus 1. And there's my rate. But they're going to ask you to round it to a percentage to the nearest tenth. So we're going to say, bump this 2 times to put it into percent, and that's going to be 61.4%. They're going to ask you to write it as a percentage to the nearest tenth. Okay? So there we go. 61.4%. Next problem. Chloe wants to know how much he would have to invest in an account that pays 6% interest compounded monthly to have a balance of $30,000 at the end of the year. So we're looking for the initial amount. Okay, we know that when you find the initial amount, it's one of the easier problems. You're going to end up dividing by a chunk. All right, so I don't know the initial amount, but look what it says. Compounded monthly. That tells us what formula we're going to use. It's going to involve the letter N. Okay? So we do not know the initial investment. But we do know it's going to be 1 plus, okay, our rate is 6%, 0.06 divided by N monthly. How many months are in a year? 12. So we're going to have an N value of 12. Exponent, use the 12 again. My time is going to be 10 years. And we want our total to be, after 10 years, we need our total to be $30,000. Your call, but I would probably convert this to 12 times 10. I would change this to 120. I would multiply those together. But we want to isolate or solve for P. So all we're going to do is divide by everything you see here. Parentheses, 1 plus 0.06 over 12 raised to the 120. Divided by 1 plus 0.06 over 12 raised to the 120. All right, let's see if we can get that. 30,000 divided by 30,000 divided by, parentheses, 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12, close it, raise it to the exponent power of 120. We're going to hit enter. And this, get this out of the way, last problem. They're going to ask you to need, we're going to need an initial investment of $16,489. $16,489. Okay? That's if they ask you to round to the nearest dollar. Okay? Make sure you read your problem, see what you want you to round to, because we may ask you for the change. 16,489. 16,489. There we go. All right, next problem. How long will it take, right there, now we're talking about time, how long will it take $7,500 that Megan deposited into an account earning 6 3/4? Do we know what 3/4 is? 0.75. Interest compounded continuously. Compounded continuously to grow to a balance of $25,000. Okay? So what we're going to solve for is time. Initial investment. Initial investment is $7,500. Okay? But it's a compounded continuously, so we're going to say E to the rate. What's our rate? 0.0675. There's your rate. Because 6 3/4 is 6.75, and you've got to move it 2 times. So you get 0.0675. What we do not know is time. We do not know the time, but we know we want to have a final balance of $25,000. Just like these equations, these exponent equations we solved earlier, We want to isolate this first. So we're going to divide by 7,500. Divide by 7,500. Bring this down. I will have, let's go ahead and put that on our calculator to give you an accurate number. 25,000, 7,500. 25, 1, 2, 3, divided by 7,500. Enter. And that's going to give us 10 over 3. All right, so we have 10 over 3 equals E raised to the point 0.0675 t. Now, to make that E disappear or go away, we're going to take the natural log. We're going to take the natural log to this side, and we're going to take the natural log to this side, and it's going to cancel. Once I put this in the calculator, I just divide by 0.0675, and that'll be t by itself. So let's go to our calculator. We're going to take the natural log of 10 over 3 equals, let's make sure I did this correctly, 10 over 3, 0.0675. 0.0675. Okay. All right, so put this in your t. There we go. So we're going to say control, get the natural log, 10 divided by 3. Enter. And then we're going to divide by 0.0675. Divided by 0.0675. Enter. And what are they asking you to find? They're asking you to find time. So you're going to get 17.8. They probably ask you to round to the nearest tenth in this situation. So we're going to say 17.8 years. If it's to the nearest year, you would say 18 years. Okay? Make sure you read the problem and answer the question. Okay? All right. Back here on this. Next problem. Hayden's brain is made up of the element gallium-44, which is the hardest substance in the universe, thus making him the hardest-headed person on Earth. Gallium-44 has a half-life of 6 days. If the mass of Hayden's brain is 24 grams, how long will it take for his brain to decrease to 6 grams? We're going to ask you to solve for time. Obviously, look what we're reading. We see that it says half-life. So that tells us which formula to use. So our initial amount is 24 grams, parentheses, 1/2, okay? They're asking us to solve for time. Time is on top, so we do not know what the time is, but we do know what the half-life is. And what does it say? It has a half-life of 6 days, and then it's going to decrease down to 6 grams. Again, we want to isolate the exponential part. So we're going to divide by 24, excuse me. Divide by 24. Divide by 24. This will cancel. 6 over 24 is going to be 1/4. Equals 1/2 raised to the t over 6. Now, once we get our exponential part by itself, we're going to ask you to convert to a log to solve this. This is my base. My base is 1/2. So we're going to convert and we're going to say log of 1/2, right? And instead of being paired with this fraction, we're going to be paired with this fraction of 1/4. And that will equal t over 6. So when we put this in the calculator, all we need to do is multiply both sides times 6 to solve this, okay? So we're going to say log of 1/2, 1 divided by 2, or you can use 0.5, okay? Of 1 divided by 4, again, you could use 0.25. We hit enter. And then all we need to do is to move that 6 from the denominator is to multiply. Look what we have. So this is going to give us the number 2, but to move the 6 to the other side, we're going to multiply times 6. We're looking at 2 equals t over 6, multiply times 6, cancels, and you're going to get 12. Okay? So my time would be 12 hours. Times 6. Enter. There we go. Good. All right, let's go to another problem. It says, what is the half-life of PO214 if after 820 seconds a 1 gram sample decays to 0.03125? They're asking you to find the half-life, the H value. So we're going to set this up and we're going to say our starting sample is 1, half-life, okay? Time is 820 seconds. But what I do not know the half-life. And we want to have a final leftover sample of 0.03125. So normally if this would have been a different number, we would divide by 1, okay? But when you divide by 1, it kind of stays the same. It stays the same. 0.03125 equals 1/2 raised to the 820 over H, your half-life. So when we have this situation, just like last time, we're going to ask you to convert this to a log. My base is 1/2, so we're going to say log base 1/2. Instead of being paired with 820 over H, we're going to be paired to this decimal, 0.03125, and that's going to equal 820 over H. Okay, so let's put this in our calculator to find out what we get. Okay, so we're going to get log of 1/2 of 0.03125. We're going to hit enter, and it's going to give us the number 5. Okay, so what we're looking at is 5 equals 820 over H. And however your teacher taught you how to do this, I told my kids, you know, you might want to treat it as a proportion. Okay, and then cross multiply, and then divide by 5. You're going to say 1 times 820 is 820, divide by 5. So we're going to say 820 divided by 5. 820 divided by 5, enter, we get 164. So it has a half-life. We're going to have a half-life of 164 seconds. Ta-da! All right, let's see if we have anything else to do. That's it. No more problems on the review. Now, I didn't do a ton of problems, okay? There's a bunch of videos that if you're not sure with some of your problems, we're going to post the key to the review sheet. But again, you've done these, and if you have questions, go look at a previous video of each different type of problem that you need to help on, okay? If not, show up in the Zoom or email us and let us know that you need help, and we'll be there for you, all right? Well, good luck on your test.